Introducing myself was done just before that, so I'll start with explaining who we are and where we come from. So just briefly, we started the first company in 2006, which is Ampulse, and doing the SMS routing, all the one-time passwords here in Luxembourg. That's what we've been doing for 12 years, also doing 95% of the micropayments in the country. Second startup was Digicash, mobile payment, engaging with banks, retail banks, so we know what it's about when having to collaborate with a regulated entity. Digicash is getting quite a lot of traction because we have around 100,000 users, so I think it's one of the very few initiatives in Europe that is really getting some traction. Last summer, we started Finologee. Finologee, we argued earlier, it's in the fintech. Fintech, for me, is working with financial entities and combining it with technology. So I consider insurance companies as also being financial institutions. If you want to sell anything to a financial institution, an insurance company, identify the true pain point. I think everyone said that, agreed, so I won't elaborate on that. Yes, it was my finger. Think ecosystem. Partnering is key. You cannot just say, I can do everything myself. You need to bring in other players to build your solutions, including technology solutions. You have to work fast and efficiently. So if you work, losing the connection, if you work together, you can do a lot, you can achieve a lot, but if you haven't identified the true pain point, and in a financial institution, which is a large firm, a large corporate, you also need to have the sponsors on board. Someone at top management says, I want to do something, I want to improve, I've identified the pain point, let's do it, let's focus on that and get a good product ongoing. So the good product is the key there. If your company is on fire, you need to extinguish the fire. Then, what were our conclusions there? First of all, change is happening. Everyone agrees we are facing a digital wave impact. You have, as an insurance company, to embrace this change. You cannot fight against it, otherwise, you don't want to be too aggressive about it, but you will disappear. User experience is key. So here, you have to clearly bring value to your clients. And we went over that during the panels and stuff. Won't elaborate either. Frenemies, who's that guy? That's the compliance officer. He's my best friend now. They have to be business enablers. They cannot be enemies. They cannot slow down the business. So they've got to understand also what's the impact of digital on your current business, and also have a vision on that. The other key player is the IT guy, because he knows. He's not going to lose his job, he's not going to lose control, but he will be able to refocus on what is really important. That's your new hero. Go and see him, go and have a chat with him, not to mock him, because he's going to save your life. So, what's the challenge for an insurance company nowadays? That's your IT environment. It's a castle. No one can enter, nothing can come out. No data, anything. You've got to go towards this, a modular system. You've got to open up, and you've got to bring in new components, tools, to really go for a modern system. So, we're talking about APIs. We mentioned that earlier. You need an API marketplace, but what is an API marketplace? It's a legal box. You have building blocks in it, that's what it is. Basically, if you're a kid, that explains everything. So, that's the version for the fintech specialists. We built that together with Clearstream, and it's basically you're on the top right corner of this chart, you're going to consume APIs, and you're on the left part of it, you're going to expose your APIs. Consuming APIs will enable you to optimize the existing, build new products, but also sell more. This is the building blocks for kids, for the fintech specialists. That's more less digestible. But just look at that. These are all the building blocks that we've already developed or internalized or put in our API marketplace, so you can consume that. What can you do with that? If we focus on specific aspects of your business, if we look at KYC, that you all do KYC, process procedures internally, so you need, when you do onboarding, to build this house, building blocks. So if you're a non-life insurance company, you need to do your authentication or your validation of the customer. It's also true for the life insurance companies. So you could do it. Let's assume that you are an insurance company, a retail insurance company. I see a few in the room. You need to work on this. Use the Lux Trust, for instance. That will enable to identify the user easily. Then you potentially need to do additional checks. Go to the all the KYC tech, LexisNexis will check, additional checks on the user. And then you get to the consent. If it's a Luxembourg resident, you get the Lux Trust signature, qualified signature, and you can go even to store it to an external provider like KPMG. They've recently announced that the PSF is storing. So basically what we build with you is this journey, this customer journey, the end-to-end process, and we select together the best providers for your onboarding.